Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So something happened to me yesterday in GBP USD trade I took. Actually, there were two GBP USD and Euro USD that I wish to share with you guys. It is very important. So if you are new here, or if you are in fact for any kind of trader, if you're just a trader, hang on, you might learn one or two things from this my experience. With that being said, let's get to the chart. All right, so this is the GBP USD trade, as you can see right here, and then this is the Euro USD trade. But obviously, before I started doing the video, I already came and I reanalyzed the market. I scattered the previous analysis, reanalyzed the market again, and I had this set up for next week, which is there. But I think it's just that both the same thing. So I'm just going to show you guys, break down this other one that I'm not scattered yet, which is the GBP USD, and show you guys the mistake I made, the emotions that got over me, and everything that happened to me yesterday. And of course, this happened to me yesterday. So this was the setup. So I'm going to go down to actually show you guys before I discuss what happened to me. I'm going to show you guys how I actually got this trade here, right here. So, of course, how I do my analysis, I will first of all go over to the fundamentals. I want to look at how the pound is doing against the dollar. So the first thing I will always like to check. I mean, this is not like analysis. This is just me showing you guys the stuff, just like an hint, right? I have a channel. If you go to the home page of this particular channel, you go down to other channels, you see that channel where I do fundamentals broadly. I do fundamentals, how I do my fundamentals. So this one now is just going to be an hint for you guys. So manufacturing PMI, of course, is going up. That was good for me. Inflation rate going down. And interest rate, all of that. So this actually gave me an hint that the pounds is good, right? The pounds is the fundamentals is good, and besides we are on a risk on environment, so favoring the pounds again. So after looking at that, I want to look at the cut data of the pounds. So it's quite simple here. The cut data, this is as of the previous release, which is last week's Friday. So what I like looking at here is simple. In that channel, you see a breakdown of this broadly. So the non-commercial, commercial, all of that. So I just look at, see, these guys are just enjoying the trend. The non-commercials, these are those I like looking at very importantly. As you can see, they're net long, and they hold 66% of that long. So this already give me an hint that the commercials are, they've seen that the pounds have gone too low, so they're expecting the pounds to go higher. So that gives me a proper view of what I want to look at in the market. So I go over to my trading view. Sorry. So I go over to weekly time frame. I want to mark out that cut and the fundamental I've just seen. So if I zoom out properly, so I have this so many weeks. I can't even, this should be months of accumulation right here. And I have this demand zone sitting below, or this, yeah, demand zone sitting. So and of course liquidity. So we swept here, expecting liquidity here to be swept, and obviously a movement to the upside. So with the fundamental and cut data I've just seen, I know that this will be swept, this will be mitigated, and will go up. So this gives me a general view of the market that definitely we are going to come down, then we are going to expand. So with that being said, that gives me a view. But now look at this market properly. This point right here is a very good area. Look at this zone, it has not been mitigated, this block. So obviously that's where the market came down, mitigated it, and start dropping. So that's a good point to see where the market is coming from this other side. So after that has been seen, shifted structure, we have this, of course, drop, shifted structure, sweep liquidity here. So this is a very good change of character and all of that. So if you pay attention, you see this happen, which was a shift in structure, a pullback, then we swept liquidity here. Now, if you're a chart guy, now this has nothing to do with fundamentals now. We've already gotten the fundamentals and the cut settled. So this is going to be your expert in chart, right? So we've seen this sweep, which is very important. And if you're a chart person, you will know that definitely when we have sweep like this high here, this particular point here, this place that mark inducement is very weak, is a weak area that will definitely get raided, right? And what we don't know is whether this will hold, but as it is going, definitely is a block that is not being used, so it's a good block for the market to mitigate. Now we are, we are getting closer to our setup. Now pay attention, look at this. This zone here is unmitigated zone, right? The market used this zone to drop, this block drop, go to sweep the liquidity. So this block right here has already been used. But if you go down to like daily, if you go down to daily, of course you see that tiny FVG right here that holds this market. After this sweep here holds the market. It doesn't mean that this market will come down because this is a higher time frame sweep. This is just a daily FVG that holds the market. So we are definitely just looking for a higher time frame FVG here, which if you go over to weekly, you will see that clearly. You can see that clean FV right there. And the market came down, mitigated it after that daily FVG held the market right here. So mitigating it from this weekly gives me a clear sign that since this has been mitigated, this internal range, of course, this gives you if you are somebody I mean all traders should know internal to external range. That is something that is rampant, right? Internal to external and external to internal range liquidity. I mean, as this said, this part is for chart guys, right? You are somebody that is a chart guy, you will understand. So definitely this is an internal range. After the external has been raided, internal range, the market came in perfectly, went up. So we are expecting this external range right here to be taken out, and possibly this point here to be taken out as well, because this is a higher time frame internal range. So that being said, that now take us to a lower time frame so that we can see how we can pick this trade right here to sweep that high. Remember, we are never coming down until we've taken out the external range, because we are coming from a higher time frame internal range. All right. So this is a mitigation block for, or sorry, a breaker block for this particular movement, which we are not interested yet until this particular zone here, this particular external range has been raided. That's when we can now be targeting the breaker block, which is down there, right? So with that being said, that is getting us closer to our entry, this trade. So pay attention, we had this market did this, swept all this liquidity, and this block here pushed price all the way. So this block is a very good block that the institution decide to use for their entry, right? And it has a tiny FVG, which is makes it even more better. So we are going to look at taking our trade from here to take out that high, right? So we go over to 4 hours. Go over to 4 hours. Now in 4 hours, look at this. Now this was, I guess, CPI, right? This was CPI. This move here was CPI. Okay, let me just write it so that this move right here was CPI. CPI move. Oh my god, bro. Where is text? Okay, CPI. And move right there was CPI. So this CPI took liquidity rate all the way to that high. This is a very strong institutional point. So that gives me an hint. And now we have a breaker block right here. Good point to actually execute. So now I mark out my breaker block and I waited for the market to come down here. Now, The market has come down right at this point. This candle here, I think I should delete this out. Sorry, right at this point here, right? The market came down and triggered me in. I think I will leave. I'll check if I screenshotted that when I entered the market and triggered me in at this point here. Now, this is what happened to me. That trade we just gone through now, I it's kind of funny because I actually thought I've gone past this kind of emotional kind of stuff that happened to me because it was completely emotional. I was all over this trade. I was looking at it. I was I was looking at every tick of this market was a problem because bro, this thing should be moving. I had a heavy problem on this market yesterday. So after I executed that trade yesterday on a profit of 5k, I try closing the market. I come back again. Try closing. I come back again. Then that drop here, this drop right here, this drop, I think that was just a consolidation of yesterday, but it was just too much of a consolidation. It dropped straight into my entry. When that happened, when that happened, I became emotional. Like I was like, bro, I'm gonna lose all this money if I don't close this trade. And I ended up closing that trade in almost no profit at all. I felt very bad when I woke up this morning and the market has already gone far, almost to the peak of where I had my profit yesterday. It went almost above that, which we'll just analyze. So I had to learn this the very hard way because I mean, what are we talking about here? We are all traders and we are looking for ways to make money. So if we keep doing all of this, it's definitely the goal of this is going to be, I mean, we are not actually going to get any profit from that. So I became emotional that yesterday and I closed this market. And today I could have been, smiling and happy that I'm actually on a good profit on this market. So well, I hope this also helps you because that's why we keep talking about setting up rules, which I have actually done for myself. If you haven't, I think I have a video where I talked about that in the channel. So if you haven't or you want to watch the video, you are free. But it is very important for you to set up rules for yourself. And the rules I keep for myself now to actually fight this is immediately I get into the market, I execute the market, put my stop loss, put my SL. The only thing I can adjust in that particular, you know, scenario or market is my take profit, which is I can decide to move my take profit from a higher swing point that I put it to a particular point where I just feel comfortable to. Apart from that, my SL will remain the same. My whatever, everything, no break even, nothing, just from the entry to the exit. Because definitely I've been in the market close to, let's say, 4 years now. So I actually know what I'm doing in the market. I know what I'm doing in the market. If I know what I'm doing in the market, my emotion doesn't have to spoil everything for me. So So exactly that's what happened to me, and I hope this helps you guys. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.